Flashback 6 years. I'm sitting on a private jet, sipping an espresso, newspapers from all over the world neatly stacked beside me, on my way to meetings in Brussels, and an essential piece of my life is broken. It's my BlackBerry. It's blocked, courtesy of my 2-year-old daughter, and I want to chuck it out the window. I'm so overwhelmed. At that point, by society's definitions of success, I was living the dream. Rising executive at a Fortune 500 company, publications, awards, marathon medals, Jimmy Choo heels. Yet, inside those designer shoes, I felt cramped. And now I questioned, whose dream is this, anyway? On that plane, flying toward Brussels, everything in my body was flying in the opposite direction. And what really worried me was realizing that even if I had a working BlackBerry, I'd still be in Mayday mode. It was becoming increasingly clear. Chasing gold star after gold star, coupled with unrealistic ideas about work-life balance, was not sustainable. I was very miserably successful. And that's when I realized we all care about living and working sustainably. It's just that we've been defining that inadequately. Most of us think sustainability means tracking our emissions and reducing our waste, but that ignores the fact that our greatest and most precious resource is us, our people. We're distracted by the pollution outside our windows or the piles in our dumpsters. And while those things absolutely do matter, that macro view has made our micro solution invisible. We are the missing variable in this equation, yet we're told to look outside ourselves for the solution. In fact, everywhere we look, we're bombarded by what the Italians call l'imbarazzo della scelta, the embarrassment of choice. You need this system, product, whatever, to be happy, feel better, look good, all supporting the idea that we're just not enough and that the next best thing can fill that void. Only that quarterly driven Band-Aid approach to our problems simply doesn't work in the long run. Pursuing the answer to that question of long-term sustainability is what led me to create a new definition of the word, what I call sustainability, the ability to sustain yourself. My theory is simple. Change starts within you. You are the answer to the riddle. And what I mean by that is each of us is like a cell that serves a larger body, whether that body is a community, a company, or the natural world we live in. We all have specific advantages and DNA that only we can contribute. But if we lose sight of what that individual contribution is, we start chasing everyone else's standards. Burnout, constant comparison, and disconnection are merely the initial side effects of this approach. But as the greatest resource our communities and companies will ever tap, the path to sustainability starts within us, not with our output. We are more than an assembly line. It's time to respond by design and not by default. After that BlackBerry tossing private jet revelation, I began to wonder how I could design a sustainable life and what that would look like. I envisioned myself still working with the best and coolest companies and entrepreneurs in the world and showing them that sustainable and profitable are not mutually exclusive. I could also see a bit of la dolce vita, with plenty of timeouts for friends, family, and myself. That, by the way, is true vision. Vision, the way the ancients used it, means to see clearly in the present. It's not some future, far-off aspiration you have to strive and struggle toward. It's your current potential, which is unlimited. Yet think of how many times we sabotage and doubt our vision through the misuse of our rational minds. How often we set out to our very own sustainable dream and decide halfway through that it's taking too long to get there, and maybe it's not there at all, that we might as well turn back or find another destination to head to. I've had the same vision for years. Part of it included being up here on this stage, sharing my story with you. And true to my vision, I now also have the great fortune of spending my days educating, activating, and empowering individuals and organizations to unlock their potential to affect positive change. I also have those personal timeouts I was talking about. I've seen how powerful sustainability can be, and you deserve the same advantage, which is why I'm going to share with you the 4-part framework I created to help reestablish your sustainability from the inside out. Remember, this is not a linear 1, 2, 3 magic wand. It's more of a flexible framework that can guide you as you raise your awareness and the collective consciousness of your community or company. The framework is easy to remember because it spells the acronym IDEA. I for inventory. You can't get anywhere if you don't know where you're starting from. So the inventory phase is where you take stock of where you are right now in your business and life. In my book and elsewhere in my work, you can find very simple ways to do this. D is for destination. This is that vision piece we were talking about a moment ago. Your next destination on your way to a more sustainable you. Once you have clarity on this, your mind is already at work finding ways to get you there. E is for explicit focus. You can have your cake and eat it too, but you can't have multiple cakes at the same time. We need to be explicit, aware, and engaged with what we're doing and pursuing in each moment. A is action. To paraphrase from Napoleon Hill's work, knowledge without action is completely useless. We could substitute knowledge with vision here and come to the same powerful conclusion. You have to act on it. When you do act, each baby step you take becomes a part of what Einstein called the 8th wonder of the world. Compound interest. Every moment you recenter, refocus, recommit to sustainability and take action, you are gaining momentum, a force that can carry you further than you ever imagined. Now that you have my idea framework, you can already begin designing your sustainable tomorrow today, because building that vision to step into is ultimately what will heal us, sustain us, and inspire others to do the same. We have a saying in Italian, chi si ferma è perduto. One who stops is lost. I know it takes courage and a special kind of grit to stick with your vision. And I also know that at times it'll feel euphoric, at others, grueling. But even the tiniest step in the direction of your vision is the equivalent of a leap in the direction of our collective dream of a better world. In this way, we can all own the truth that change starts here. That's sustainability, an idea worth spreading. Thank you.